So you created your vision board. It's beautiful, inspiring, and full of goals for 2025. But now what? How do you actually turn that vision board into reality? In this video, I'll show you how to go from vision board to action plan. And I'll also show you how you can use AI to help you with this process. So step 0 is to, why did I do it like that? Okay, so step 0 is to have a vision board. If you don't already have your 2025 vision board, then definitely check out this video where I talk about how to create a vision board from scratch. But if you already know your goals for 2025, then you're ready to move on to step 1. So step 1 is going to be to pick your priority goal. So close your eyes and imagine that it's December 2025 and imagine that you accomplish this one thing. What would it be? Maybe it is that you wrote that book, you ran that marathon, you took that trip you've always wanted to take. Definitely lean on your vision board for this. And if you're having trouble deciding between two things, definitely journaling and talking out loud, all of that will help. But I definitely want to encourage you to pick one thing. And my friend Meezy and I, she's also a YouTuber, check her out. We talk about this thing of like plan A versus plan B. So it might be plan B brings us stability. It's our 9 to 5 job. It's what we know, it's what we're comfortable with. We're in a rhythm with that. But it's our plan A that excites us. Maybe it's on our vision board year after year. It's always in our head, but we never treat it like a plan A. Maybe because we don't know the steps to take or it's hard or whatever. But this is the year that we are going to prioritize our plan A. We're going to treat it like a plan A. You know what I mean? So definitely pick that one thing that you want to accomplish in 2025. Okay, so now step 2 is actually to create the action plan. So the very first step to do is we have to rephrase our goal to make sure it's a goal that's in our control. So, for example, the goal might already be in your control. If it's something like run a marathon, great. You can find a marathon yourself, you can train for it, you can show up, like that's all in your control. But then it gets more tricky if, like, let's say getting a promotion is on your vision board. Just because, that takes somebody else saying yes to you, or it takes your teammates, writing good reviews of you and things like that. And there's a lot of politics that can happen with this. What if your manager doesn't like you? So it doesn't matter. Anything you do, they will just not promote you. Or what if your manager moves jobs, there's a reorg at your company? What if you personally think, okay, I'm going to lead a project, I'm going to help out the intern, I'm going to do this, and that, and your manager actually is like, I don't find that important for moving something up. So what you can do is we're going to take this into account when we create the action plan. So, for example, you have to really know your situation and assess your situation to know what is the next step for you. If you have a manager that don't like you, and they ain't gonna like you anytime soon. And I know likability shouldn't be a part of it, but with moving up, there's so many different politics to it. Maybe you explore different teams at your company, and you could be, having lunch once a week with different managers or team members on different teams to see where you might fit in. Or, if your goal is a promotion, there's different ways you can promote yourself. The job market is crazy right now, but taking a new job, you can get more money that way, you can get a bigger job title. So it might be okay, I'm on the path to try to get a promotion at my job, but at the same time, what I'm going to do is also be studying for interviews, if it's technical interviews or things like that on the side. I'm going to be looking into the job market. It could also be that maybe your true goal is that you want to make more money. Let's say with moving up, you get a $10,000 promotion. Maybe on your vision board, there was also a side hustle. Maybe you want to knit sweaters. So what you could be doing is you're still working that promotion, but on the side, maybe you say, okay, I'm gonna make and sell my first sweater by March of 2025. But you get what I'm saying? We can get really creative in creating that action plan, and we're not gonna put all our eggs in one basket. Definitely gonna diversify so that when the end of the year comes, it's yeah, I really tried. I also love the metaphor analogy of planting seeds, of planting different seeds. You water them all and then you never know which one will grow. That's exactly what we're doing. So we're figuring out a way to put this goal in our control. And if you're having problems with it, definitely talk to ChatGPT. That's actually what I did for my number one goal. I wasn't sure how to do about it. So we actually went back and forth, created as an action plan, and I'll actually have the prompt on the screen here so you can see the prompt. And I think with ChatGPT, why some people don't like it is it's like its first answer might not be its best answer. Sometimes you have to go back and forth and things like that. So for example, the prompt that I used was like, okay, this is my goal. This is what I've tried in the past. This is kind of giving it background information. This is what I want to do. Can you help me get there? What are the steps that I need to take? Some steps I didn't like, so I was like, actually, I've tried this in the past. I don't like that. Basically, reiterating and things like that. And it's so good at giving you a different perspective. So definitely do that and try that out with your goals. Another thing I will say is that we have to make sure that the steps it gives you are actionable. So, for example, you can check off if you have a meeting once a week with someone from a different team. Can you answer yes or no to if I did this item? If it's creating videos on YouTube, did I post 4 times a week? 4 times a week. Whew. I mean, people do 4 times a week. Some people do 4 times a day. But that's something that you can check off if that's your number one goal. So definitely make sure it's actionable things. And then there's another thing I want to mention is that make sure these tasks are what I like to call move the needle tasks. There are going to be some steps that help you get to where you are trying to go, and then other steps that actually frankly just don't. I can fall into the habit sometimes of okay, I'm being productive right now. I get my cup of coffee, I go to my desk, all that stuff, and then the very first task that I do is I'm deleting emails or things like that. Those don't help move the needle. So you can even clarify with ChatGPT, I really want to create those actionable steps. So for example, if you're writing that book, you have until December 2025. It could literally be I know how many pages I want. If not, you can brainstorm, but I'm doing 10 pages a day or, however many you need in order to achieve your goal.
Now, step three.
Which is one of the most important steps. This is how I actually create change in my life is you're going to audit your time. So I challenge you for the next week to write down, or I actually use Google Calendar, but just basically keep track of how you're spending your time. So from the time you wake up to when you go to bed, when you go to the bathroom, and what you're doing on the bathroom, not what you're doing on the bathroom like that, but let's say you go to the bathroom and you're on your phone and you spend 15 minutes on social media. You're gonna track your energy levels as well. It's gonna sound like a lot. So what you can do is, just start with one day and track your time and see how you feel about it. But why this is so important is we're gonna get real data on how you are currently operating. So for example, small things add up. So if you're on social media when you wake up, let's say you're in bed and you're actually on social media for an hour. You wake up, brush your teeth, you walk your dog, all that stuff, and then maybe before you start your commute to work, you're on your phone for another 15 minutes. And then, you're at work, it's your lunch break, you're on social media the entire hour for your lunch break. You come home, you do all your stuff, you do all your tasks, then you're on social media for 2 hours. You spent 4 hours doing something that might not, I'm guessing, contribute to your plan A. So what we're going to see is we're going to see how you really spend your time. So for example, when I was studying for technical interviews, when you apply for software engineering jobs, they test you with different software engineering technical questions. And in the past, I would be I'm studying for these questions. I would swear to you, I'm trying my best, but I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And, when I look back, I was just not trying to my full potential. I think I did maybe for one interview, 16 problems. And, after I did research and talking to people, it takes doing 200 problems in order to see results. So you might think you're working hard. Maybe you go to the library every weekend, you spend 8-hour days, you were talking to a tutor, all that stuff, but that wasn't nearly as much time as you needed in order to accomplish your goal. I remember after that, I was okay, I'm going to track. It was years later. I'm I actually want to pass, hard technical. I want to work at big tech companies and things like that. So I actually tracked my time. I tracked which problems I was doing. I was making sure I was doing a diverse set of problems. And y'all, that is when I finally not even started passing. I was acing those technical interviews. And I'm just so proud of myself when I look back, but it's really that I had to buckle down and put in way more time than I was putting in before. So what we're going to do is we're going to track your time. Maybe you have 2 hours where you're really productive, but then the rest of your day, you're spending 6 hours on social medias, but then 2 hours on your plan A. Are we really going to get to where we want at the speed that we're trying to get there? So we're going to document everything. And what I realized, this helps me in multiple different ways. And one of the side effects is that, like, when I'm tracking my time, I do less stupid things. I'm like, dang, do I really want to track that I'm on TikTok right now? And I'm like, no, I don't. Let me go do something productive. When you look back on your past day and it was like, dang, I watched 3 episodes of Shrinking back to back to back. Like, did I really need to do all of that? Those are great side effects, but then also we get just a realistic view of where you're at. And this is going to be so helpful for the next step. So, step 4 is build it into our life. So what we're going to do is, we have that top goal. We created those action plans with those action steps of those move the needle, tasks that we need to do. We know how we spend our time. Now we can incorporate those tasks into our week. So maybe it is after work, you might have 2 hours. Maybe it's on your commute. If you're trying to become financially literate, you can listen to a podcast on your way to work. Maybe it's before work. Maybe it's on the weekend. Now you know how your time is spent and can figure out different times of when you want to focus on these plan A tasks. Now, this final step, step 5, is to reflect, adjust, and repeat. So, what I like to do is, sometimes I journal every day, but then I fall off. But if you could journal every day, you could think about the day before and be like, did I work on that move the needle task? And if you didn't, you can reflect on why. Maybe you were super tired after work, so you want to try that space before work or different things like that. What I definitely really try to do is my Sunday reset, where I look at my calendar, I look at my task. And if you want a video on how I use Google Calendar and Google Task in order to like keep up with my schedule, I can definitely do a video on that. But now it's like, okay, which days did I work on my task? Did I work on my task for any days? This is my plan A. How can I incorporate this into my life? Or it could be like, yo, I really utilized my like after work period. Then you can go back to your vision board. Once you feel so good with something, you can go back to your vision board, repeat this process. And there's going to be stuff that you don't have to go through this whole process for. So, like, for example, I have learning a language on my vision board, but it's not like my top goal. Like, if it was on my vision board next year, I'd be chilling. I'm just having fun with it. So, I want to keep having fun with it. But it could really be like, okay, I can do 30 minutes a day. I'm going to put that into my schedule. What you have to make sure, though, is that you still are prioritizing your plan A. Sometimes it's easier when you have easier tasks throughout the day to focus on that. It's like, no, every day, I'm moving the needle. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe. Not me begging. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.